Chapter 7, Improving Decisions with Marketing Information. Throughout this discussion, you will learn about the marketing information systems, understand a scientific approach to marketing research, learn methods for collecting secondary and primary data, understand the role of observing, questioning, and using experimental methods in marketing research, understand important new terms. So the comprehensive model that's referenced throughout this textbook, Essentials of Marketing, is shown here, and where we are and what is covered in the following discussion is quite apparent. Marketing information is needed to inform managers about all decisions made in the development of the marketing strategy. Marketing managers may want to gather information about any of the elements in our marketing strategy planning model. For example, in developing strategy, a marketing manager may find it useful to learn more about customer attitudes toward the company's brand name, or a marketing manager may want to know the prices being charged by competitors. A marketing manager may want to test whether the use of advertising on television and magazines or on the internet would be most effective in building awareness with a particular target market. Or the marketing manager may want to know how well a particular product is selling through each of the company's primary channels of distribution. So the marketing manager may be interested in gathering information about any of the elements in our marketing strategy planning module. Two major elements relating to marketing information are the marketing information systems and marketing research. Marketing information systems and their components ensure the availability of and accessibility of information, as well as the tools to analyze the information. Many firms rely on marketing research, whether in-house or contracted, to get answers to specific questions. Many different individuals and organizations are involved in marketing research. Some large organizations have their own internal marketing research departments. Most organizations needing marketing research use external suppliers, such as custom marketing research firms or firms that specialize in focus groups like the ad here, Focus Vision Worldwide Inc. These firms can either be very general in their approach or they can be very specialized. In this ad, many firms rely on outside specialists like Focus Vision to provide marketing information about their current and potential customers. Many of these firms also offer ongoing training. The use of marketing research is not limited to business firms. Government agencies and nonprofit organizations and NGOs are also adopting a more research-driven approach to marketing decisions. Good marketing research requires cooperation between researchers and marketing managers. Some of the key issues involve that sometimes a good relationship is difficult because the marketing manager and the researcher come from somewhat different professional worlds. Marketing managers need research because they have problems they want to solve, but they sometimes have trouble explaining what they need to a researcher. On the other hand, researchers who are very skilled in the technical aspects of marketing research may not completely understand the decision facing the manager. The bottom line, cooperation between the researcher and the manager is absolutely necessary if the research effort is going to be successful. Most large companies have a separate marketing research development department to plan and manage research projects. Marketing managers need information about customers and their responses to the marketing mix, targeting and segmentation, competitors, and the marketing environment. They also need information that will allow them to do detailed cost analysis for the purposes of implementation and control. Marketing information systems help make this information available and accessible. An MIS allows a manager to get more information faster and easier and making it readily available in an easy-to-use format. The intranet is a system for linking computers within a company that works like the internet. And the intranet is easily accessible and is also easy to update. This diagram shows a typical MIS and how its key components fit together to meet a manager's information needs. Information sources for an MIS may include formal marketing research studies, as well as previously published internal or external data. A data warehouse is a place where databases are stored so that they are available when needed. Some MISs have a decision support system that puts managers online. DSS, Decision Support System, is a computer program that makes it easy for a marketing manager to get and use information while he or she is making decisions. A marketing dashboard is a computer display of up-to-the-minute marketing data in an easy-to-read format customized to the manager's area of responsibility. A marketing model is a statement of relationships among marketing variables. It allows a manager to see how answers to questions might change in various what-if situations. All of this information feeds into the decisions that marketing managers make and ultimately influences important outcomes of the decisions, which become feedback to the process. The database is continually refreshed with new information, making it an up-to-the-minute management tool. The growth in the popularity of marketing information systems has had a tremendous impact on the decision-making capabilities in many organizations. Information for planning, implementation, and control. The more managers use an MIS, the more possible applications they see. Advancements in technology will make the MIS even more of a necessity. Many firms are not there yet, either because they don't have an MIS or don't know how to fully use the ones they have. A major problem is that many managers are used to doing it the old way, and they don't think through what information they need. An MIS, Marketing Information System, or Decision Support System, typically makes use of regularly collected recurring information, but marketing research develops unique information to solve a new problem. The scientific method is a decision-making approach that is objective and orderly in testing ideas before accepting them. Hypotheses are educated guesses about likely causes and effects that can be measured objectively to help eliminate unnecessary risk-taking. Marketing research process is a 5-step application of the scientific method. Shown here, we start with step 1, that is defining the problem. The manager and the researcher determine the key decision issues requiring information. Step 2 is analyzing the situation, an informal study of information that is already available in the problem area. Step 3 is getting problem-specific data, the collection of data that is customized to the decision maker's needs. Step 4 is interpreting the data, which is the process of getting meaning from the collected data. It is a transformation of raw data into useful information. Step 5 is solving the problem, the delivery of recommendations to the marketing manager, who is ultimately responsible for implementing the recommendations. This process may move in the step-by-step process outlined here, or as the feedback arrow shows, the researcher may learn something in the process that moves them back to an earlier step in the process. The marketing manager may find that at any step, a solution might be identified, and the early identification of a solution can save time and money. This is the most important and most difficult step in the research process. Often, the researcher must help the manager to flesh out the real problem facing the organization and the types of information needed to solve the problem. Defining the problem is the challenge. Finding the right problem level almost solves the problem in many cases. In order to find the right problem, the marketing strategy planning framework can be useful. Don't confuse problems with symptoms. Key performance indicators in marketing may be symptoms of other more fundamental problems. Setting research objectives may require more understanding. The researcher and manager can develop a list of research questions that are most important. A single research project may not be adequate for answering all of the questions. Situation analysis, step 2, is basically an informal study in answer to the question, what information do we already have in the problem area? Situation analysis helps educate a researcher by providing background about unfamiliar problem areas. The situation analysis may uncover information that leads to an early identification of a problem, or it may help to determine what other types of information are really necessary. So let's check our knowledge. Edna Bates, a marketing researcher who is an expert in customer satisfaction research, is asked by a client to conduct a study dealing with a completely unfamiliar research topic. Edna consults secondary data to gain more insight about this unfamiliar area. Edna is engaged in the situation analysis stage of the marketing research problem. Edna is investigating information already available in the customer satisfaction field, so she is engaged in the situation analysis, which is an informal study of what information is already available in the problem area. A situation analysis usually incorporates secondary data, which may provide the answers or at least some background relevant to the research problem. Secondary data is the information that has already been collected or published. Primary data is the information specifically collected to solve a current problem. Let's start our discussion with a focus on the secondary data sources before moving into a discussion of primary data. Much secondary data is available. Examples are the data sources from inside the company, might be data from the MIS, financial information from the accounting department, or reports from the field sales force. Information from outside the company might include government information, trade association studies, or information available in magazines or journal articles. Search engines may miss important databases available on the Internet. Special interest discussion groups or news groups on the web share information on topics of special interest. Government data is inexpensive and available in digital or printed form. Most companies with advanced economies have government agencies that will help researchers get the data they need. Primary data may be obtained through observation or questioning. So let's look at these sources of data in more detail. Many private research organizations, as well as advertising agencies, newspapers, and magazines, regularly compile and publish data. Simmons provide their clients with consumer behavior data which offers a better understanding of their customers and prospects. According to the ad, Simmons is the leading force of high-quality research and single-source measurement of the brand preferences, lifestyle, and attitudes. Such information is useful in knowing where and how to advertise most effectively. Many trade organizations also provide information about their members. The Encyclopedia of Associations is an excellent source listing hundreds of these organizations. As with government data, much private information is available electronically as well as in print. Regardless of the source, it makes sense to examine secondary information before collecting more customized primary data, because secondary data tends to be relatively inexpensive and easy to acquire. Therefore, situation analysis yields a lot for very little. The small amount of time and money spent on reviewing secondary data may actually solve the research problem, or it can help to establish research priorities, focus the research objectives more precisely, or suggest additional issues for examination. The outcome of a situation analysis is a listing of the research questions that remain unanswered. At this point, the researcher can determine what else is needed and how to get it. A research proposal is a plan that specifies what information will be obtained and how. The research proposal helps to keep a research project on track and on budget. In getting problem-specific data, marketers collect primary data that is customized to their unique needs. In most cases, researchers try to learn what customers think about a particular topic, or they try to see how they behave under certain conditions. There are two basic methods of collecting primary data: observing, questioning. It can range from qualitative to quantitative research. Qualitative research seeks in-depth, open-ended responses, not yeses or no answers. The researcher tries to get people to share their thoughts on a topic without giving them many directions or guidelines about what to say. The depth of the qualitative approach gets at the details, even if the researcher needs a lot of judgment to summarize it all. One of the most popular forms of qualitative questioning is the focus group. Focus group interviews involve interviewing 6 to 10 people in an informal setting. A skilled moderator leads the discussion, asking open-ended questions on topics of interest and taking advantage of group dynamics to pursue comments in depth. Sessions are usually videotaped, or they are broadcast via internet or satellite. As this ad shows, Focus Vision Worldwide is one of the increasing number of firms that can broadcast live focus groups anywhere in the world. Thus, the focus groups are readily accessible to researchers who can analyze the information, and managers can also observe. Focus group interviewing can be relatively inexpensive, and it can be conducted quickly. However, the conclusions drawn from a focus group depend on who watches it. Focus groups involve so few people as participants that they may not be representative of the entire target market. Focus groups can also be overused and mistaken for market facts. Sometimes they generate more questions than answers. As a result, many researchers use focus groups as preparation for more formal quantitative research utilizing a larger, scientifically selected group of respondents. If the collection of primary data is standardized, there are several advantages for researchers. They can use identical questions and response alternatives across a large representative sample of respondents. They can also summarize the information using a variety of statistics. Quantitative research seeks structured responses that can be summarized in numbers such as percentages, averages, or other statistics. Fixed responses need answering and analysis. For example, a common approach is to have consumers indicate how much they agree or disagree with a statement on a survey. There are several types of surveys. The choice of the right survey depends on the research objectives and constraints such as time and money. Mail and online surveys are common and convenient. Advantages of these types of surveys include the ability to ask an extensive set of questions, convenience for the respondent, anonymity, and a greater willingness by the respondent to provide personal information. The main disadvantage is a low response rate, the percentage of people contacted who complete the survey. It may take a long time to get the results. Recently, more researchers have been delivering surveys faster online. Telephone surveys are fast and effective. Researchers can gather data more quickly and prepare it for analysis faster than with a mail survey. And there is an opportunity for researchers to probe respondents for details. However, telephone surveys are more costly and may inconvenience respondents. Personal interview surveys can be in-depth and give the interviewer the chance to explain complex issues. Interviewers must be well trained to avoid biasing the respondents' answers. Consumer interviews are often done in shopping malls or retail stores, but interviews are even more expensive than telephone surveys. So let's check our knowledge. A researcher wants to study 1,000 consumers and needs information about a lot of personal and sensitive issues. Which of the following would be the best way to gather this information? Well, mail surveys, A, are particularly useful when you intend to contact a large number of consumers. In the above question, the researcher would like to contact 1,000 consumers and wants to gather personal and sensitive information. This is best handled through a mail questionnaire since it can be completed anonymously. So A is the best answer. Observing is another way to collect primary data. It focuses on a well-defined problem. Sometimes the best way to observe a customer is for a marketing manager to become a customer. In an observation research, researchers try to record the behaviors of people. Most observation is done without the knowledge of the people being observed, because researchers do not want to influence the things people do. Observation can be done by humans or by machines. Observation methods are common in advertising research. For example, Nielsen Media Research gathers data on television viewership by using people meters that record the channels watched by a selected sample of consumers. Website analysis software allows marketing managers to observe customer behavior at a firm's website. Checkout scanners see a lot as well when it comes to shopping behavior. This information helps retailers to manage their inventories and adjust their merchandise selections. Consumer panels are groups of consumers who provide information to research firms on a continuing basis. This information is made available to clients for a fee. Questioning and observing might also be used in a different way by incorporating them into an experimental method. in which researchers compare the responses of two or more groups that are similar, except on the characteristic being tested. Suppose a researcher wants to compare the effectiveness of two different versions of an ad. The effectiveness could be measured by the response of consumers to a question about their interest in the advertised product. In step 1, researchers select a representative group of consumers. In step 2, researchers then randomly split the group into two, and each group sees a different ad. In step 3, researchers ask consumers to rate their level of interest in the product advertised. So let's say the group viewing ad number 1 has an average interest in the product. After watching the ad of 3.2 on a 5-point scale, with 5 indicating very interested. And the people who saw ad number 2 had a more favorable impression. This group rated their interest in the product as 4.6 on the 5-point scale. The researchers conclude that the higher rated ad causes people to have greater interest in the product than does the lower rated ad. Test marketing is another way to experiment. Researchers can select geographic areas in which they vary a product's marketing mix in some way, and then they compare the results across the geographic areas. For example, a candy company might compare two different packages for a new candy bar. The company could introduce one package design in Syracuse, New York, and a second package design in Omaha, Nebraska, and then compare the sales in the two test markets. Syndicated research shares data collection costs. A combination of research methods may be needed. Understand the costs and benefits of the research. Four types of data: internal secondary data, questioning primary data, external data, observation primary data. Data analysis and interpretation follow data collection, and it answers the question, what does it really mean? Quantitative analysis is facilitated by the use of statistical packages, easy-to-use computer programs that analyze data. Data analysis can be either simple or complex. One of the most popular analytical approaches is cross-tabulation. An example is shown in the cross-tabulation chart here. The table shows that the combined responses for two questions are being, what is your household income? Does your home have a broadband internet service? Among people with a household income of more than $75,000, 72.4% have broadband internet service. Among people with a household income less than $30,000, the percentage of people with broadband internet service is only 23.7%. Therefore, the cross-tab analysis shows that households with higher incomes are much more likely to have broadband internet service. Certain basic issues are critical in assessing the quality of a research project. First question a marketing researcher must answer is your sample really representative of the population? Population is the total group of interest to the researcher or marketing manager. A sample is a smaller group selected to represent the population. The key here is to ensure that the sample selected represents the larger population. Chatter on the internet is not representative but can be useful. Research results are not exact. Confidence level and confidence intervals are the range on either side of an estimate that is likely to contain the true population value. Validity problems can destroy research. Validity is the extent to which data measures what is intended to measure. Poor interpretation can also destroy research. Problems can arise if the researcher does not understand the management problem, so the marketing manager and researcher should work together closely. Ethics involved in interpreting and presenting results. The most common ethical issues concern decisions to withhold certain information about the research. So let's check our knowledge. A sales training firm wants feedback on the quality of its classes and training services. The firm planned to send out mail surveys to CEOs of its client companies to get the needed information. However, one executive objected to the survey plan, saying, "CEOs don't attend our classes. How will they know if the classes are good?" Another executive added, "If the survey isn't relevant to the CEOs, it will be thrown away and will get no data." It appears that the research design presents problems with E, both A and B. Low response rate is a common problem in mail surveys. Response rates are likely to be even lower if people who receive the questionnaire are not interested in or knowledgeable about the questions. This research design is marked with at least two problems: low response rate and relevance of the population, if the CEOs don't even attend the classes. So the best answer here is E, because both A and B, response rate and relevance of population, are good answers. The confidence level helps determine the accuracy of a statistical estimate from a random sample. It consists of a range on either side of the estimate and indicates the likelihood that the range contains the true value for the entire population. So step 5, solving the problem. In this last step of the research process, managers use the research results to make marketing decisions. Researchers and managers are fascinated by the interesting tidbits of information that come from the research process. They are excited if the research reveals something they didn't know before. If research doesn't have action implications, it has little value and suggests poor planning by the researcher and the manager. When the research process is finished, the marketing manager should be able to apply the findings in marketing strategy planning, the choice of a target market, or the mix of the 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion. If the research doesn't provide information to help guide these decisions, the company has wasted research, time, and money. Well, let's check our knowledge again. A marketing research firm conducted a telephone survey for a consumer products company. It provided new and interesting information about brand image, the competition, and other topics. At the end of the research company's results presentation, the sales manager commented, "This is all interesting information, but it doesn't tell me why our marketing share is declining among 18 to 34-year-old women. Nor does it offer me any suggestions about actions I can take to deal with the situation." The sales manager complaint suggests that the research suffers from problems with E, both A and B, a lack of action implications for management, and poor planning by the researcher and managers at the outset of the project. The sales manager is left with the questions because the research lacked proper planning at the outset of the project to correctly define the problem and didn't result in actionable implications for the management. International marketing research. Marketing research contributes to international marketing success. Customer needs and interests, as well as segmenting dimensions and other environmental factors, may be considerably different in foreign markets. Decisions made without sound marketing research are laden with risk. In many countries, it is difficult for a foreigner to gather accurate information. Marketers dealing with international markets would be well advised to avoid mistakes by using local researchers. If a firm is engaged in similar research projects in various overseas markets, some coordination and standardization makes sense. Now you should be able to know what a marketing information system is, understand the 5-step scientific approach to marketing research, know about methods for collecting secondary and primary data, understand the role of observing, questioning, and using experimental methods in marketing research, and be aware of several new marketing terms.